And greetings everyone to yet another of my videos. Today is not exactly, but it's certainly just over a year that I've purchased the VFR, and I remember bringing a video to you guys at about this time a year ago. The VFR at about 38,000 kilometers on the clock. Now it's been a year and 38,000, so 48, it's almost 10,000 kilometers in a year, which is a good indication of how much traveling she has been doing. It hasn't been without some trials and disappointments, such as having dropped her not too long ago. I dropped as a matter of excitement and not realizing how much space I really had to have things under control. And a VFR, unlike smaller motorcycles like 600s, 700s and so on, have a weight and balance problem on the main, not the main stand, the stand. It really goes forward if it's in the wrong angle, and if it's not in gear, it just steps out of the way, and the next thing you know, she's on her side. And that is not a cool thing to have happen to your motorcycle. And as a result, I've had this panel sprayed, I've had these handles replaced, that, and the pretty much all that was sticking out had to be replaced, including the mirror. This was replaced, the pedal was replaced, and so was the gear lever replaced. But other than that, nothing else took much of a bang, except for the aesthetics. But this to say that after a year, she's had one service in between. She's going on to the 49,000, or some of you would call it the 50,000 kilometer service. It's a major service. The valves have to be looked at. I honestly think the only valve they'll look at will be the valves that operate most of the time. It will not be the VTEC valves, as a result of the fact that they don't get used as much as they should. But there you go. 46,000, 38, almost 10,000. I've had to replace a battery recently, and this is a warm start. She's on 74 degrees, and I'm glad I put the new battery, because now she starts just like a Honda should start, or a Japanese motorcycle anyway. So 46,600 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers of safe traveling, exciting traveling. I've had one or two scares, of course. A bike this heavy, I commute daily. I've just had the chain cleaned. This is something that I'm paranoid about, is the sprocket and the chain always spotless. Otherwise they wear into the wear and tear becomes a problem. This is something, if you're a motorcyclist and your motorcycle has a chain, you probably need to consider doing what I do, which is maintain the chain consistently. So yeah, awaiting the major service. I got a chap that can help me reduce the price from Honda. Honda's already waiting for me. The money's almost ready. So if you're going to have a motorcycle and you don't service it, then it becomes lesser of an investment, even though the brand holds true to what people say. Japanese bikes, just put petrol and go. Don't fall for that one, everybody. Rather do what you have to do. On my CBF, because I have had access to the engine, I did the service myself. I changed the oil. There's far too much fairings going on here for me to access anything. Even the battery was a problem as it is. So this to say that my initial expectations from the VFR were certainly met. The brakes on the back have been replaced, like I said, by a cheap Chinese brake of some sort, which I regret. So I don't know what Honda is going to do or say about that. But everything else has been absolutely what to expect from a motorcycle of this caliber. I miss, to be honest, the center of gravity of the NC for my daily commute, but the VFR wasn't made for just commuting. This bike is made to do a little bit more than that, and even at this age and technology's age available at the time, this bike stands pretty much timeless when the designs of motorcycles have substantially changed dramatically, particularly in the back. The rear end of the motorcycles have become a little bit more less complex. On the VFR, if you look carefully and you take a lot of the structure away that holds the top box and the panniers, the exhaust protruding from the top like that with the single arm, it's just timeless. As I said, this is one of those motorcycles that will look good in 20 years from now. And the one last thing I have to say is the quality of the materials, the build quality of everything, the discs, the suspension, everything about this particular Honda, which inevitably all Hondas are made of higher grade materials. I have no doubt about that. When people compare them to other Japanese motorcycles, it's difficult to say Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki. But the one thing that you can be guaranteed is that this brand, the Honda brand, when it comes to motorcycles, in fact even motor vehicles, goes back a long way. Reliability is the first thing that comes to mind. Yes, some might call it boring, not as exciting or as fast as some of the bikes, but you do have Hondas available for that purpose. Anyway, this is a short one and a quick one to let you know that 10,000 kilometers of trouble-free riding. I've never been stuck on the road except for the puncture story. If you're in South Africa and you want to commute, just one of the negatives I'd like to bring to light is that the chain gets loose every time you remove the tire to fix a puncture. Because it comes out easily, you can just go and repair it anyway. But the problem is the chain, for some reason, when you remove the tire and put it back on again, goes loose, and then you have to have it tightened. I don't have the equipment to tighten the chain up, so I have to end up going to Honda, which they so kindly always tighten it up for me. So Honda, well done. Highly respect the products Mr. Honda has been responsible for bringing onto the market to the masses, particularly considering what prices you can get a motorcycle like this for. This particular one has become a little rare in this color, in this particular model. They started off, I think, in 2002 or 2003, the 6th gen. They've made some alterations to the VTEC, the way it engages. But in South Africa, at least, this motorcycle's become a bit of a rare motorcycle to find, especially in a good condition. So, thank you for coming on board once again. And for those of you thinking of getting this brand of motorcycle, there are two things about you. One of them is you obviously like a beautiful motorcycle, but you are familiar with what the VFR heritage comes attached to. You've done your research, and if you like me, since a little young child, I saw my first VFR800, and after that, all I wanted ever was a VFR. I'm not saying I don't like other motorcycles, but this is the motorcycle I love. So, have a blessed day, evening, wherever you are. Ride safely, service your bikes, and be exactly what you've been taught by the professionals when commuting and riding. Always check your blind spots. I cannot exaggerate or exacerbate the reality of that fact. Look left, look right, look left, just like you've been taught if you've been through professional training. Thanks for coming on board. Please like, subscribe, and share if you can. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Cheerio.